Cuba, it's me. Welcome to episode 209 of the W.I.L.L.I.W show, which stands for Wrestling is Life. Life is Wrestling. Now, today, I'm doing part 3 of my ribs and wrestling stories. The first one I talked about times that I got ribbed. Second one I talked about ribs that I witnessed and I was somehow involved in. Um, there's been a lot. There's a lot of funny ones. Some of them I can't really tell. And some people I consider good friends and maybe don't want those stories out. Some of them are just inappropriate. Um, I remember getting ribbed by Ruffy and like the Highlanders and stuff about that all the time. But it was all in good fun, and they showed respect for me. And hey, man, it's just part of the business, and it was fun. Nothing was ever done mean spirited towards me. They were just funny ribs. And then I mean, I had one rib pulled on me in the middle of a match that what happened was it's supposed to be a certain kind of a finish, and then lo and behold, the finish was changed. It was something with two referees, and the one referee was going to say this, but he did not. So I was shocked because I was supposed to, thinking I was doing this, thinking, oh, hey, okay, this is going to happen, and then it didn't happen. Luckily, it was at the end of the match. Like, the match was over now, the bell had rang, but my reaction, probably the best reaction ever, because it was a legitimate reaction, and I was swearing under my breath at the ref. It was a good time, but so I won't get into too much detail on this one. But this is my favorite one. Um, Me and Lars Phoenix and Jesse Jones and Sandy Davis got a house together, and a lot of times Russ would stay there with us too, and lots of times Besh would stay there or Lance Romance would stay there. It was the wrestler's house, and we all had our own room, and we were always welcoming any of the guys, especially guys that wanted to get out of school and have a break. Well, Lars Phoenix was a big, tall, intimidating guy, and he could be kind of a mean-spirited and good fun bully, but for some reason he took a liking to me, so I basically did whatever he said because I didn't want to give him any reason to start turning on me. So if he was like, oh, we're going to play this rib on so-and-so, I just did as I was told because I didn't want it to be turning against me. And we used to call ourselves the world's greatest tag team, and we would try and like attack people, like the other wrestlers, and try and stretch him, which was never fair because Lars was a big guy, and I was just like the little weasel rat ferret that would get in there and grab an ankle or something once Lars was doing the damage. And I paid for it a lot of times after when I was caught alone with the wrestlers when I didn't have the backup. But so Lars and me, we like to come up with these great plans. And as I told on the one story about how we set Jesse Jones's clocks all back or whatever. And Jess was a fun guy. We liked him. That's why we lived with him. And to this day, he's one of my best friends. But he was so good. He had the best reactions, and he was so comical and over the top to us that he was fun to make fun of. And so basically, what happened was Jesse would always play this Raining Men song, but I think it was like the version that the Spice Girl did. I can't remember exactly, but he loves lots of music, and he always liked that Raining Men song. He played tons of songs, but Russ would come over sometimes, and he hated that song, and so Jesse would play it all the time because he knew it bugged him, right? That was like his rib against. It was funny, right? So one time we decided, me decided. Basically, he came up with the idea. I knew I had no choice but to go along with it. So I added ideas to put more fuel on the fire. So somehow we decided we were going to kidnap Jesse and leave him at the school, the wrestling school that we all attended that no one liked to be there except for the wrestling aspect. So Russ and Sandy were downstairs. I was downstairs as well. I had my own little bedroom here. They had a bedroom and we shared a bathroom. And then Jesse and Matt had Lars, whatever, Big Matt. They had the upstairs 2 bedrooms and bathroom, and then the kitchen and the living room. We all shared everything. But so we decided that one, we didn't want Jesse having any help. So we took this door. There was like this old door that broke or something, and we laid it over the top of the stairway so that no one can get up the stairs. So it was like barricaded in. So then we had Jesse all alone. And so we like tied his hands behind his back, and we got him in big Lars Phoenix's truck. And then before we left, the icing on the cake is now. So Sandy and Russ were downstairs, and they were barricaded downstairs, and we took Jesse's CD player, Ghetto Blaster or whatever, and we put Raining Men on repeat at very high volume and left it at the top of the stairs before we left. And then we took Jesse and Lars had this big red truck or whatever, and we took him to the wrestling school. And Jesse is so good at playing it up, so he plays it up. He goes along with it. He makes it. Why make it rougher than it's already going to be? So then we come up to the school and we're telling the other students there, and they were like, "We're kidnapping Jesse. We're leaving him here. We don't want him to come home. I don't know why. I think just to bug him." And we're like, nobody give him any bus money to get home, nothing. And we even told Ike about it, and he was like, ah, ha, ha. And like, because Ike's a big bully too. So it just so happened that Aeon Flex was there. He was a wrestler that was training at the school, but he was not having a good time with Ike, as none of us were. So he wanted to go back home. I believe it was Alabama, and there was a school that was down there, and Paul Bearer, like the Undertaker's manager, he was involved with the school. So Aeon Flex came up to Canada to learn from some of the great Hart brothers that were not even at the school. So he decided, hey, I'm just going to go back here. It's way better. And he was asking if anybody wanted to come. So I believe Sid Summers came, and then Jesse happened to be there. So anyway, me and Lars go to the school the next day, and Jesse's gone, and he never came back to our house, and we're like, what the heck is going on? It turns out Jesse went with him to Alabama, so we kidnapped Jesse just for the fun for one, maybe not even a full night, and it turns out he was gone for a whole month. It was pretty ironic the way it worked out. It was just so funny. Maybe you had to be there, but to me that's one of my funniest stories that I remember from back in the day. Like putting the Raining Men and barricading them in there, kidnapping Jesse just for fun for the one night, and everybody could have a good laugh about it. But he didn't come home for a whole month. He ended up staying down in Alabama with Paul Bearer and Aeon Flex and Sid Summers. So that's probably my best one. I'm going to try and do some more of these. I'm going to have to really think in detail. There's a lot of great ones. But this is part 3 of Ribs and Wrestling. As always, let me know. Is there any good ones that you've heard? Any ones that you've witnessed? I always love a good rib story. Because remember, on the Willow Show, like or you get a leg drop, comment or you get a clothesline, subscribe or you get a suplex. I'm your host, Elian Habanero. I love wrestling. Cuba!